How to get rich on a low income. Proven strategies to boost earnings and save money fast. In this video, we're going to talk about how to spend your money in a way that allows you to buy the things you want without going into debt. You'll learn how to avoid the trap of constant budgeting and scarcity thinking, and how to manage your finances effectively once your income starts to grow. By applying the strategies in this video, you'll gain the confidence to plan your finances smartly, get out of debt, increase your income, and afford the major purchases you dream about. Unfortunately, financial literacy isn't something we're taught in school or college. Yet this knowledge is absolutely essential if you want to manage your money successfully, and most importantly, you need to apply this knowledge in real life. So, let's start with the first and most important step: understanding what money means to you and what role it plays in your life. For some, money equals freedom. Freedom to live the life they want, to express themselves, to eat what they like, travel where they wish, and explore who they are without limits. For others, money becomes a source of stress, something to constantly worry about, hoard, or fear losing. What beliefs about money were you raised with? Do you believe that rich people are dishonest? That it's shameful to be wealthy? Have you convinced yourself that money doesn't buy happiness, and maybe even the opposite? Or do you treat money like your health, something essential that deserves care and attention? Most of us grow up with negative money experiences or beliefs about scarcity. That mindset often follows us into adulthood. We expect money problems to be a constant in our lives rather than envisioning a future of financial abundance and success. During times of economic crisis, whether global or national, money issues become even more severe. More people rely on government aid just to survive. And those who make large purchases often do so on credit. Today, many young adults either live with their parents or rent, and owning a home, even if it's mortgaged, is already seen as a mark of success. However, the interest paid on a mortgage over decades can add up to 50% or more of the property's actual value. When we analyze our financial situation, we often blame the economy, our employers, or even family members. But in reality, we're the ones creating many of our money problems, often by making poor financial choices. The lack of money is worsened by constant exposure to advertising and status-driven lifestyles. We're surrounded by expensive things we want, but most people earn less than they spend, and this leads to a dangerous cycle of debt. Do you have an emergency fund in case you lose your job? How long could you live on your savings? Do you have life insurance? Another painful consequence of financial insecurity is the strain it places on family relationships, self-esteem, and even our overall outlook on life. Money problems often lead to chronic stress, emotional tension, and negativity. The majority of people make small to mid-sized purchases, like smartphones, laptops, or cars, on credit, and have no emergency savings. If you want to feel secure financially, you need to have a cash reserve equal to at least 10 months of your living expenses. Whether it's just for you or your entire family, this financial buffer can drastically improve your quality of life. With this financial cushion, your decision-making also becomes stronger. For example, if you lose your job, you won't have to jump at the first opportunity, especially if the pay is low or the role doesn't suit you. Instead, you'll be able to wait for the right offer or even take time to upskill and boost your income long-term. One more widespread issue is the desire to get rich quick through shortcuts without real knowledge or experience. Sadly, this leads many people to get scammed or lose their money. Whether it's a pyramid scheme, a failed investment, or online fraud, these financial traps are everywhere. To sum it up, most people have limiting beliefs about money from childhood and a lack of practical knowledge about managing personal finances. At the same time, there are more and more ways to lose money, while our financial needs keep growing every year. How to stop living paycheck to paycheck and build real financial security. Most people grow up with negative beliefs about money, shaped by childhood experiences and a lack of proper education. These beliefs, combined with poor personal experiences in managing money, often lead to repeating the same financial mistakes as adults. Unfortunately, schools and universities don't teach financial literacy, yet this is one of the most important life skills we need to thrive. We live in a world full of opportunities to lose money, from risky investments and financial scams to pyramid schemes and fraud. Meanwhile, our financial needs grow every year. We leave our parents' homes, start paying rent, buy cars, raise children, take care of pets. Our expenses increase while our money mindset remains stuck in the past. No wonder most people feel insecure financially. Let's break the cycle with practical financial planning tips. Step 1. Calculate how much you've earned in your lifetime. To get a realistic picture of your financial potential, start by calculating how much money you've earned so far. Let's say you started working at age 20. Think back to your first job. How much was your salary and how long did you earn that amount? If your income changed, calculate the average. For example, if you earned $1,000 for 6 months and $2,000 for the next 6, that's $18,000 a year total, an average of $1,500 per month. Now extend that calculation across your entire working life. The final number may surprise you. It will probably be far higher than you expected because even small paychecks add up over time. This is a crucial first step in learning how to manage your money wisely. Step 2. Estimate how much you'll earn before retirement. Now, calculate how many working years you have left until retirement. Then research average salaries in your field for different stages of your career. Be realistic. Avoid overly optimistic or pessimistic predictions. Maybe you'll earn $2,000 per month for the next 3 years and $3,000 per month for the following 5. Add up your expected income year by year. Add this future income to the total you've earned so far. That's how much money you will have handled in your lifetime, personally. You'll likely be shocked by the size of that number. And yet, very few people ever consciously track it. But we're not talking about spending all of it. In fact, don't include housing, groceries, or other basics in this total. Your goal is to earn more than your baseline needs so that you can use the rest to build wealth, buy a home, a car, or anything else you've always dreamed of. Step 3. Create a financial plan that actually works. The first step in creating a financial safety net is figuring out how much money you need each month to live. If you've never tracked your spending, start now. Keep a detailed log of every purchase, whether by card or cash, for the next month. You can write it down in a notebook or use an Excel sheet. Categorize every expense. After 1 month, analyze your spending. Which expenses were necessary? What could you cut back on? Keep doing this for a few months to get an accurate picture. Then calculate the average monthly spending. Also, start tracking your monthly income. If your only income is a salary, this is easy. But if you have multiple sources, freelance work, side gigs, rental income, track it all. Then calculate your average monthly income. Now subtract your average expenses from your average income. The difference is your potential savings, the money you can put away each month to build your emergency fund. How to build a 10-month emergency fund. One of the best ways to protect your financial well-being is to save enough money to live without income for 10 months. This fund will transform your quality of life. When you lose your job, you won't have to panic or accept the first offer that comes your way. Instead, you can take time to find a better opportunity, upskill, or retrain for a higher-paying career. To figure out how long it will take to build this fund, divide the total amount you need based on your average monthly expenses times 10 by the amount you can save each month. That's your savings timeline. Stay consistent and track your progress. This kind of personal finance planning is not about getting rich overnight. It's about creating long-term stability. Avoid get-rich-quick traps and scams. A major pitfall many fall into is chasing fast money without knowledge or experience. This leads to disaster. Whether it's investment scams, crypto schemes, or financial pyramids, people often lose their hard-earned savings in search of shortcuts to wealth. The key to lasting success is to increase your income gradually and consistently through smart financial habits, skill building, and a realistic plan. Most people have limiting beliefs about money, poor planning skills, and little understanding of how their income and expenses actually work. Yet, financial peace of mind is not a fantasy. It's a goal you can reach. Track your income. Track your expenses. Make a plan. And remember, building your financial future is a marathon, not a sprint. The path to financial freedom. Common mistakes that hold you back. Achieving financial independence and freedom starts with one crucial first step, but the journey doesn't stop there. Along the way, Many people make financial mistakes that sabotage their progress and keep them stuck in the same place. Let's look at the most common budgeting and saving mistakes that can derail your goals and how to avoid them. Mistake number 1. Going to extremes with saving money. If you previously spent carelessly, dining out often, or buying expensive name-brand items, you might try to correct course by cutting everything out all at once. Maybe you even go so far as to deny yourself basic comforts or obsessively save every coin you find. This all-or-nothing mindset doesn't work. Within a few weeks, you'll likely burn out and give up entirely. Ultimately, this extreme financial behavior can lead to bigger spending splurges than before. Mistake number 2. Upgrading your lifestyle too quickly. Another common pitfall is setting a big financial goal, like saving for a house or car, without first adjusting your habits. Maybe you realize it'll take too long at your current income level, so you increase your earnings. That's great. But then you start upgrading everything in your daily life: a better car, more expensive gadgets, designer clothes. As your income rises, so do your expenses. You may earn more, but you're not actually saving more. Mistake number 3. Falling for sales and credit offers. Flash sales, buy one get one offers, and limited time discounts often tempt people to spend more than they need, or worse, spend money they don't have by using credit. This behavior creates unnecessary debt and moves you further away from financial security. Mistake number 4. No financial planning. Many people never sit down to create a realistic financial plan. But if you've already completed the earlier exercises, calculating your monthly income and expenses, you've already started your first personal financial plan. Each month, track your total spending, your total earnings, and how much you're saving. Even a small, consistent savings amount gives you structure and progress. Let's say you've set a goal to buy a car. You've chosen the model and know the price. If you know how much you can save each month, you can estimate how long it will take to reach that goal. Want to get there faster? You'll need to earn more or cut expenses. That might mean changing jobs, negotiating a raise, starting a side hustle, or making smart investments. The 3 financial stages of life. Visualize your financial life in 3 stages. Survival. You're living paycheck to paycheck, taking out loans, and denying yourself basic needs. Stability. You feel relatively secure with money and live comfortably compared to your peers. Abundance. You earn enough to live well, invest, save, and feel confident about your financial future. With consistent effort, anyone can move from survival to stability, and from there, to a life of abundance. Setting realistic financial goals. Let's say you want to buy a car or a home, but right now, the money isn't there. Your first step is clarity. Define exactly what you want, research the approximate cost, and calculate how long it will take to save that amount with your current monthly savings. Want to get there sooner? Look for ways to cut current expenses, e.g., refinancing loans, canceling subscriptions. Sell unused items for extra cash. Take on freelance work or a part-time job. But before setting any large financial goals, make sure you've eliminated your debts and built an emergency fund with at least 10 months' worth of living expenses. Only then will you feel the peace of mind and stability needed to pursue bigger dreams. Dream big, but start realistically. Your financial goals should be realistic given your current situation. Many people set goals that are impossible to reach, then get discouraged. Of course, dreaming is important, but begin with what's achievable. Don't let impossible dreams become an excuse to give up. On the other hand, your dream must excite you. It should be realistic, but also inspiring. When you truly want something, you'll feel energized and motivated to pursue it with all your heart. Set clear financial goals. Define what you want to own. Task. Create a list of your material desires, everything you want to own or purchase. This is the first and most essential step in shaping your financial goals. Once the list is complete, take time to reflect. Are these truly your desires? Will they ignite a passion in you strong enough to pursue them with full commitment? For example, if you want a yacht, ask yourself, how would you feel if you found out you'd never own one? Would it devastate you? Would your vision of a successful life fall apart? Try this same mental exercise with other items like a car or a house. Imagine never owning a vehicle. Would your daily life feel fundamentally incomplete? Would renting a home for life or living with your parents forever drastically affect your happiness? What if you never get the latest iPhone model? Would that actually ruin your quality of life? These questions will help you distinguish goals that truly matter from superficial ones. The items that genuinely feel essential are the ones to keep. Prioritize and specify your financial goals. Once your core desires are clear, rank them in order of importance and urgency. For instance, if you need a car to commute to work, specify exactly which car. Will it be a brand new vehicle or a used one? What brand and model? Look up current prices online. Do the same with housing. What neighborhood do you want to live in? How many square feet should your ideal apartment have to ensure comfort? Your financial vision must be specific, with well-defined parameters and current market prices. Add timelines. When will you achieve these goals? It's not enough to know what you want. You must also know when you want it. Timelines are crucial in personal budget planning and keeping yourself accountable. Do you want to buy a car in 1 year or 2? A home in 5 years or sooner? Think long-term. These goals are not just for the next month. They form the foundation of your lifetime financial plan. Your desires may evolve and your plan can adapt, but it's important to think big from the start. For example, if you want 2 children, include that in your plan. If you aim for 2 cars in the family, add that too. Naturally, your plan should also include owning your own property, going on vacations, and building passive income streams. Plan for passive income in retirement. One of the simplest and most effective ways to generate passive income in retirement is through owning real estate you can rent out. This doesn't mean it's the only way, but it's often the most accessible and reliable method for long-term income. Ask yourself, how much money will I need to live comfortably in retirement? When estimating, consider that your monthly expenses might decrease. For instance, no more childcare costs, but don't forget about inflation. If you know your monthly financial needs, you can reverse engineer what kind of property to buy and what rental income it must generate. Assess your assets. Next task, calculate your assets. In this context, assets are everything that generates income, can be sold for significant value within 3 months. Examples of assets include real estate, even if you live in it, vehicles, high-value electronics or machinery, bank savings or investment accounts that bring returns. Do not include furniture, clothing, or potential inheritances, only tangible and financial assets with real market value and liquidity. Calculate your liabilities. Now it's time to assess your liabilities, debts, loans, credit cards, and anything else you owe that requires regular payments, including interest. Add up all of these liabilities to get a total debt figure. This task may feel uncomfortable, but it's essential for building financial literacy and self-awareness. Once you see the full picture of what you owe, you'll be more cautious about luxury purchases, expensive vacations, or taking on new debt. You'll start thinking like a realist. Note: do not include regular living expenses like food, clothing, or rent in this liability count. Those are considered monthly cost of living expenses and should already be factored into your personal budget. Compare assets and liabilities. Now, compare your assets with your liabilities. If your net worth is positive, i.e., assets liabilities, you're on the right track. You have a solid foundation to build wealth. But if your liabilities exceed your assets, it's time for a serious reevaluation of your financial habits and strategies. Let's look at an example. You take out a mortgage for a home worth $100,000. By the end of the loan, you'll have paid $140,000 in total. While you own the property, you've essentially lost $40,000 in interest. This is a liability you need to factor into your financial equation. Conclusion: know where you stand and where you're going. If you've followed all the steps above, you now have a comprehensive understanding of your financial situation. You know how much you spend monthly, how much you earn, what you can save, your current assets and liabilities, your short and long-term financial goals with timelines and values. You've taken a major step toward financial independence and long-term wealth building. Now it's time to act on your insights, stay consistent, and revisit your plan as your life evolves. How to build an emergency fund and plan your finances wisely in the U.S. Let's go back to the topic of your emergency fund. As mentioned earlier, the ideal emergency reserve should cover 10 months of living expenses for you and your family. This fund is crucial in case of job loss or any other unexpected financial hardship. If saving that much seems overwhelming, aim for a minimum of 6 months. Once you start building your financial cushion, even if it's just 1 month's worth of expenses, you'll notice how much more secure and emotionally stable you feel. Hitting milestones like 3, 6, or 10 months of expenses saved brings a sense of peace and control over your future. Where to keep your emergency fund. Saving money at home, or even on a regular debit card, is not the safest approach. There's always the temptation to spend, especially under the influence of advertising or the you only live once mentality. Instead, it's smarter and safer to keep your emergency savings in a high-yield savings account. When choosing a bank, focus on 2 things. Bank reliability. Attractive deposit conditions, ideally with interest earnings and the ability to access funds partially or fully without losing accrued interest. Use online banking tools for convenience. Most banks now allow you to manage everything from your mobile device, including regular deposits to your savings. How much should you save monthly? Of course, saving more is always better, but at a minimum, aim to save 10 to 20% of your income every month. This consistent habit will ensure you build a solid emergency fund over time and help you move toward greater financial independence. Don't overlook insurance. A strong personal finance plan should also include insurance coverage for your home, vehicle, and other valuable property. Don't forget about life insurance for yourself and your loved ones. This layer of protection brings peace of mind and safeguards your financial stability. Define your financial goals. Through these practical steps, you'll start understanding your financial reality better. How much you earn, how much you spend monthly, how much you're able to save. This awareness will help you set material goals, such as buying a house or a car, and plan when and how you'll be able to afford them. Use your resources wisely, grow your income, and consider insurance as part of your long-term safety net. How much to spend on vacation? A common question in budgeting and savings planning is, how much can you afford to spend annually on vacation? If your primary goal is to save for a major purchase, your vacation budget should not exceed 1 month's salary. It's important to weigh your priorities. If taking a vacation will use up your entire annual savings, you may need to decide what matters more, a break or building toward your larger financial goals, like buying a home or upgrading your car. Always live within your means, and avoid taking out a vacation loan if you haven't saved anything. Growing your income. To make significant purchases like a car or home, you'll also need to focus on increasing your income. Realistically, plan for an income growth of 15 to 30% per year. If you've worked at the same company for years without a raise, look at the job market and explore better paying opportunities. If you're a business owner, set realistic targets for profit growth, but avoid overestimating. Overly optimistic expectations can lead to disappointment. Instead, use the 15 to 30% annual increase as a safe planning benchmark. How to use income growth wisely. Once your income increases, how should you allocate the extra money? A smart strategy is to use 50% to improve your lifestyle and save the remaining 50%. However, if you still have debts or lack an emergency fund or insurance, prioritize those. In that case, allocate 75% of your income growth to savings and only 25% to lifestyle upgrades. This way, you'll build a solid foundation before increasing your spending. Final step. Plan the next 5 years. The most important thing is to take action. Complete the practical tasks outlined above, from calculating your monthly spending and savings to setting short and long-term goals. Then, try to draft a 5-year personal finance plan. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it will guide your efforts and keep you on track toward financial freedom. Creating a targeted financial plan means setting clear savings goals for major material purchases, whether it's a car, an apartment, or even starting your own business. If you're working toward a significant goal but find that you can't save enough or meet your milestones this year, it's important to adjust your personal financial plan rather than abandoning it. You have several options. Reevaluate your priorities. Maybe you were aiming for the newest iPhone, but now realize it's something you can skip this year. Reduce vacation spending in order to allocate more toward a car down payment. Postpone your goal until the following year. Consider more affordable alternatives or explore financing options such as credit or borrowing from family. The idea is to remain flexible and optimize your budget plan without giving up on your financial independence. When building a 5-year financial plan, account for expected income growth, typically between 15 and 30%, depending on the current job market. Factor in big life events like vacations, weddings, childbirth, or large purchases such as a car or property. Break things down month by month, estimating your income and expenses while still contributing to a savings fund, insurance, and your emergency financial cushion. The goal is to avoid ending the year in the red. If your numbers don't add up, then it's time to cut back, reduce expenses, or push some goals to the next year. This approach ensures you're always moving forward, realistically and responsibly. If your income doesn't grow as planned or unexpectedly grows faster, revisit your strategy. If you're carrying debt, focus on debt repayment first. If you receive extra income and you're debt-free, redirect that money into your savings for big-ticket items. On the other hand, if your income remains stagnant and you're deep in debt, then it's critical to scale back your goals and eliminate non-essential expenses. One of the most important things to understand about realistic goal setting is that if you want to buy a home, but your 5-year financial plan proves this to be impossible, it may be time for a career change. If your current job can't support the life goals that truly matter to you, you need to look at new opportunities, industries, or positions that offer the monthly income needed to reach your financial targets. To avoid financial stress, especially if you've been in a low-paying job for years, start building your financial cushion and consider retraining or reskilling. You could explore online courses, grow your qualifications, or even change industries altogether. If possible, turn a hobby into a source of income, but do this with careful planning. Many lose money by diving in unprepared. The key is to create a plan for personal growth and financial development that aligns with your ambitions and removes you from mere survival mode. After creating a 5-year financial roadmap, you can extend it further, to your retirement, for instance. Use this long-term vision to assess what's truly necessary. Maybe you don't need a new car every 5 years. Maybe reducing vacation expenses allows you to invest more in your future. Speaking of investing, you can put your money into low or medium-risk stocks, or eventually real estate investments once you're financially stable. Always include scenarios where your income increases significantly, say by 50%. This mental exercise can motivate you and bring your dreams closer to reality, turning vague wishes into achievable financial goals. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, with expenses exceeding income, then making a simple personal budget is more important than ever. Even the most basic planning can significantly improve your financial situation. Financial literacy and planning are your strongest tools to overcome hardship. If you follow everything outlined above, you will start to see real progress. Once you begin this journey, don't forget to deal with not only your own debts, but also those who owe you money. If you have outstanding loans to friends or relatives, now's the time to act. Be polite but firm. Start by asking how they are, then inquire whether they've been able to resolve their own issues, and remind them that it's time to return what they owe, especially if the deadline has long passed. Waiting too long often means you'll never see that money again. Moving forward, lend money selectively, only to those you trust to repay. Always request a written agreement stating the repayment date and possible penalties for delay. This simple step can save you significant stress and financial loss in the future. Action step: make a list of anyone who owes you money. Take the necessary steps to get repaid. Going forward, lend money only with proper documentation and remember, your own financial health comes first. How to increase your income and reduce expenses. Practical financial planning tips. One effective way to boost your income is by selling unused items in your home. These are things you no longer need or use, but might still be valuable to others. You might think nobody wants them, but try listing them on online classified sites or local marketplaces at 10 to 15% below typical prices. You'll be surprised how quickly things like old video games, consoles, or outdated electronics can sell. Collectors often seek such items, making this a practical way to generate extra cash. At the same time, critically review your expenses. Every time you feel tempted to make an impulsive purchase, stop and calculate how many hours of work that purchase will cost you. For example, if your hourly wage means buying the latest iPhone requires 2 months of work, ask yourself if it's really worth it. This method of calculating cost and work hours can help curb unnecessary spending and prevent impulsive purchases that don't bring lasting value. Another great strategy to reduce expenses is to make a list of activities or purchases you truly enjoy and rank them on a scale from 1 to 10. For instance, going to the movies weekly might bring you 5 out of 10 points in happiness, but creative hobbies like painting could score a full 10. By prioritizing spending on activities that bring maximum joy, you get more satisfaction from the same amount of money, while cutting out less fulfilling expenses. Make all your spending intentional. When buying essential items like a vacuum cleaner or refrigerator, always compare prices online and avoid making purchases at the first store you visit. Similarly, if you plan to travel abroad, monitor airfare prices throughout the year and look for deals during off-peak seasons. This can save you money on flights without sacrificing your quality of life. Remember to value your time. It's not worth spending hours traveling across town to save just a few dollars. Have you already calculated the true cost of your work time? Use this knowledge to balance your efforts wisely. Time is money, and wasting too much time for little financial gain is counterproductive. If you are employed, consider asking your employer for a raise. Prepare for this by analyzing the value you bring to the company. Reflect on your performance compared to colleagues and the profit or benefits you generate. If you feel you deserve more, propose a compensation plan that rewards your productivity, such as commission-based pay if applicable. If your current employer cannot meet your salary expectations, don't hesitate to look for better-paying opportunities elsewhere. Increasing your income often means providing more value. For example, a sales manager's workflow typically includes finding clients, making initial contact, preparing customized proposals, and closing deals. Improving efficiency in these steps can justify asking for a raise or finding higher-paying roles. Additionally, investing in personal development through relevant books, training courses, or workshops can significantly boost your career prospects and earning potential. Employers are willing to pay more for employees who contribute more profit, save costs, or deliver superior service and experiences. Think about how you can apply these principles in your own field. When negotiating a salary, whether for a raise or a new job, don't adopt a passive approach. Remember, the employer is looking for a competent professional who can deliver results. Confidently present your skills and accomplishments. Being a reliable and skilled specialist will make finding a better job much easier, and your motivation will stem naturally from your financial goals. Let's return to our financial planning discussion. Many people might wonder, how can this really work given inflation, economic crises, and other uncertainties? That is a valid concern. However, the interest earned from bank deposits can help offset inflation. Also, keep in mind that you don't create financial plans with absolute certainty for the long term. You will regularly review and adjust them based on changing circumstances. During a crisis, it's important to recognize the opportunities it offers. For example, you can buy stocks of key companies at discounted prices. These stocks often hit a minimum price during a downturn, but tend to recover within months or a couple of years, allowing you to sell them for a good profit. This is a classic strategy for making money during economic recessions. To effectively track your financial plan's progress, perform a review and make necessary corrections every 3 to 4 months. This ensures you understand what goals you're achieving and what needs adjustment. This video does not cover detailed investment strategies, as investing is a complex field. However, everyone should know some basic principles. Whether you want to invest in the stock market, real estate, precious metals, or other assets, consider the following. Understand how the investment generates profit. What drives returns for that specific instrument? Know the average rate of return for that type of investment. Be cautious if someone promises significantly higher returns. Evaluate how your asset performs under different conditions, such as crises, inflation, or unexpected global events. Determine the ideal buy and sell prices and the expected time frame for achieving your returns. Learn how to safely purchase, store, and sell your assets to avoid fraud, excessive fees, or loss. Develop a well-thought-out investment strategy and portfolio. Decide which instruments will help you reach your goals with an acceptable risk level. Plan your response to unexpected market events. For example, after a stock price drop, prices usually recover, so avoid panic selling at low prices. When stocks fall by about 10%, it's often a good time to buy. Focus on stable and reliable companies. Once prices return to previous levels or slightly higher, consider selling to realize profits. This is one of the simplest and safest stock market strategies. Remember, crises cause people to sell assets and real estate at very low prices. Be among those who profit from these downturns. When inflation erodes the value of money and headlines scream about impending financial collapse, you can avoid losses by investing in depreciated assets. In fact, you can not only protect your capital but also earn during a crisis. Historically, economic crises happen approximately every 7 years. If you have funds ready during a downturn, you can make substantial gains by buying undervalued assets. While predicting crises precisely is almost impossible, looking back, some investors have multiplied their investments many times over. However, always keep a cool head. Avoid risky moves. It's better to earn less than to lose money. If you have significant savings during a crisis and invest wisely, you can earn in months or years what would otherwise take you months or even years of regular work to make. In conclusion, building financial stability and increasing your income requires a thoughtful approach to both spending and investing. By critically evaluating your expenses, avoiding impulsive purchases, and focusing on investments with clear understanding and strategy, you can protect and grow your wealth even in times of crisis and inflation. Remember, financial success is a continuous process of learning, adapting, and making informed decisions. Stay disciplined, plan carefully, and seize opportunities wisely. This is how you turn challenges into lasting financial growth. If you want to continue developing your financial knowledge and learn how to make smarter investment decisions, be sure to follow this channel. Here, you will find practical advice and insights to help you grow your wealth safely and effectively, even during uncertain times. Your support means a lot, and together we can build a more secure financial future.